So let's get straight into it. We have a problem. We have many problems, but the problem we're going to talk about today, we've heard a lot throughout the conference, is the problem of scaling LCA. Today we're going to focus specifically on the packaging industry. They face, I think, unique challenges in measuring, quantifying, lowering their impacts due to the large quantity of products, both in type and number of units sold, as well as a specific need to balance sustainability with marketing objectives and functionality. This leads to hundreds of design decisions needing to be made every day within the packaging companies. As LCA professionals, we're very familiar with long and costly LCAs, which are very hard to scale. So the industry is looking for tools that are affordable, quick, but also grounded in strong science. Here's a challenge. If we favor speed over rigor, we oversimplify, and that leads to potential risks of greenwashing. If we go too much the other way, we might end up with reports that are too lengthy, overly technical, and kind of scare the industry, which might not disclose their work in sustainability, which is greenwashing. And then there's costs. So if it's too expensive, no one does anything. My name is Lucille Wagner, and I work for Life Cycles. We are based in Melbourne, Australia. We're mostly a classic LCA consultancy, but we also have many other hats, including we're owning and developing PK, the Packaging Impact Quick Evaluation Tool, and I'm joined by Leo today.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Leo Breedveld. I run an LCA consultancy located in the north of Italy, close to Venice. And I reviewed the work of Lucille, so I'm here as a reviewer, and later on I say some few words.
Thank you. So, PK, we know that the prohibitive cost of ISO compliance comes from the highly manual processes that are required to carry out a study and then review it. Often the result is a very lengthy report that lacks predefined structure, and that's the case even though lots of studies share similar goals with the same background data required. That's especially true for an industry such as packaging. So we believe that standardization of ISO requirements can be implemented and applied throughout for specific product comparison. This is what PK offers for the packaging industry. PK has been around for a while, since 2008 to be exact, but it's recently gone through a big revamp. And one of the updates was to provide the user with this feature that enables the generation of ISO-compliant reports. It's still an ongoing process, but the peer review is well underway, and the first ISO-compliance PK reports will be available by the end of the year. So we'll take you through the different factors that were taken into account into providing this feature within PK and the challenges that we faced doing so. To implement this new feature, we worked with one of our users, Pact Group. They operate Australia's largest PE recycling facility, and they supply HDP milk bottles throughout the Australian market. Their goal was to compare an old packaging version, an old packaging HDP 2-liter milk bottle to a new design which is lighter weight and incorporates recycled content. Another big focus of theirs was to compare the impact of imported versus local recycled HDPE. Eventually, they hope to use the report to support on-pack environmental claims. So this is what sits behind PK. And to simplify the generation of the ISO report, several key inputs are automated. The background data selection, we rely on EcoInvent as our main background data source, but then we also add an extra layer of data, I guess, that's in the form of national wastes, of end-of-life fates that were developed based on national waste management reports and other publicly available data sources across 54 regions. And for all materials and manufacturing processes that are available in PK, we also add an extra layer of regionalization. So wherever a regional process is available within EcoInvent, we use it. But when it's not, we shallow regionalize the first layer of the model, swapping to the regional grids and regional water flows to represent better those 54 countries. Dealing with the user interface, they can input data a few different ways, so manually or via the use of an API. And then we also offer proprietary services to develop their own material or manufacturing process. And this can be made available to all PK users if they wish to do so, or it can stay private and be available only to them. APIs are also used for automating things such as distance calculation. To make PK ISO compliant, we had to improve our transparency. So we worked a lot on providing more detail, more transparency around the background data and its representativeness. And we also added new fields, so embedded like new fields for the report generation and for the user to fill out to meet the ISO requirements. So that's all well and good, but yes, sorry. PK aims at being user-friendly, easy to use, and quick. So after a very simple scope selection step, the user enters minimal data. For our case study, it's a simple cradle-to-grave scope, and primary data was collected by pack group around material types, material weights, supply chain locations, conversion processes. Primary data was also collected for their own manufacturing process for the local RHDP. Once the data has been entered, the tool intuits some factors, so the end-of-life fates, as I already mentioned, but also packaging level configuration and pallet load. And then we provide default values for several methodological parameters, including recycle credit settings and a few others. Although those default values are provided, the user can override them if they have more case-specific data available. Once the study has been made, the PK generates a report automating results tables, results graphs, a contribution analysis per packaging component, packaging level, and life cycle stage, and pre-fills some information for other parts of the report. That's all well and good, but sorry? Sorry. So we can't automate everything. So those automated, dynamically generated fields are supplemented with free text fields for the user to inform context, rationale, and interpretation. And then some personalization is also possible. The other very important input, human input, is the peer review process. So I'll let Leo speak to that.
Okay, thank you very much. So the biggest challenge in the review we found was the transparency in reporting, because it has an automated reporting tool. So their transparency is really an important issue, and as you have seen, Lucille already indicated that they created additional fields to fulfill also this requirement, so that has been an important improvement of PCAT. Well, doing the review, it's very nice because you can take a look in the kitchen of the LCA practitioner. So we discussed very interesting things like regionalization, how you model transport and scrap, and also recommended to add the uncertainty analysis to PCAT. So overall, you can say that PCAT is a suitable tool to do your LCA for packaging solutions. And I think a strong point is the regionalization. So the scope is not limited to Australia. You can use it worldwide. And as a takeaway for you, I would say do more often a peer review because it's given added value and it's also very interesting and useful to do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So very quickly, the study results showed that the new design, lighter weight, local recycled content scenario was the most environmentally friendly across the impact categories that we looked at. We can talk more about it if you're interested. But to conclude, we believe, we all know that standardized, affordable, accessible tools are critical right now for credible environmental reporting at scale. And we believe that credible environmental reporting is also critical to environmental action. Can PK do it all? No. Limited scope, for sure. Is it perfect? No. But we're working on getting as close to that as possible. And our hope is that PK is fulfilling its objective of increasing accessibility to ISO-compliant reporting within the packaging industry, and then similar approaches can be applied throughout other industries, enabling LCA scaling through the use of fit-for-purpose tools. I'm going to finish here. If you're interested in PK, if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, please come and speak to me. I would be really happy to talk and connect. I can show you through the tool, and Pact Group has allowed us to share the report once it will be finalized. So if you're interested in that, I can also grab your email and send that through once it is ready. Thank you so much.
So, thank you very much for your presentation. What questions do we have?
Okay, sorry for that. From a pure LCA methodological perspective, I'm interested, you said you are taking into consideration on the modeling side, both end-of-life fates and recycling credits and recycling content of materials on the market. So from a methodological point of view, how are you not doing a double counting?
Yes, so we considered a few possible options using the PEF-A values as a default recycling allocation method, but we ended up actually choosing an even simpler approach, maybe not as accurate. So the default PK approach is 50-50. So we apply an A factor of 0.5, giving credit 50% to the end of life and 50% to the use of recycled content. There is an option for the user to select the PEF-A factors instead. And for the default recycled content of materials on the market, it's things like steel or aluminum that are never purely virgin. And end-of-life fates, when I say end-of-life fates, it's more, how much goes to recycling versus landfill versus energy recovery or whatever it is. I hope that answers the questions, but happy to talk more if you would like to. Yeah.
Okay, we have another question here in the back.
Marisa Vieira Bray, many thanks and quite impressive. I know that's not the main aim of the presentation, it's to show the power of PK, but I was a bit intrigued by the fact that you said it's cradle to gate, but you are comparing lightweighting with not lightweighting. I would assume also that the outbound distribution is where you would see benefits from the lightweighting. And then I have a quick question to Leo. If you are pre-verifying the tool, what are the verification efforts still required per individual assessment? Thank you.
Thank you. So for the first question, yes, so in this case, Pact Group was really interested to get for on-pack environmental claims this cradle-to-gate scope. I think it's just easier to communicate to the user, but I completely agree with you. We're missing part of the picture there, and there are additional benefits that will be, that would show if we use the cradle to grave scope for transport processes. And
Okay, thank you for the question. So we reviewed the tool. So potentially the tool can generate ISO-compliant reports, but for the real having the compliance, you need to go anyway through the verification for the reporting, because we only did the tool. Yes, good question. I think if a reviewer sees that the tool is already compliant, they will have more trust. Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you very much.
thank you.
Yes, and now we move to the short presentations, and the first one is from Benjamin Kanakie.